Let's talk about those really deep frustrations, the ones that seem to stick around no matter what we try.
Yeah, the big ones.
Like maybe you've climbed the ladder, I got the big job, the professional success everyone talks about, only to look around and feel like, wait, my family life is, well, it's kind of vanished. I barely know my kids, feel distant from my partner.
Or maybe it's about habits. You start that diet again.
Yeah.
You get the new time management app. You're all fired up, positive attitude.
And then what? A few weeks later?
Poof. Right back where you started. Feeling stressed, reactive, under pressure. Same old cycle.
Exactly. Or maybe you're leading a team. You think you're doing all the right things, being friendly, offering incentives, using those popular techniques.
But there's just no real buy-in. No loyalty.
Yeah, you get this nagging feeling that if you weren't there pushing constantly, things would just grind to a halt. These aren't small things, are they?
Not at all. They're symptoms, chronic failures in effectiveness, really.
So what's the real issue then, if the quick fixes aren't working?
Well, that's because we're often just hacking at the leaves, you see. Our goal here is to dig deeper, past those surface-level tricks.
Okay.
We want to look at a framework that says real effectiveness isn't just about what you do, it's about who you fundamentally are, your character.
Right. This takes us back to that big historical shift you mentioned before we started, the two ethics.
Exactly. For a long, long time, the foundation for success was what we call the character ethic. Think core values, integrity, humility, courage, fairness, patience.
Yeah.
That was the bedrock.
That feels solid, fundamental.
It was. But then, especially around, say, after World War I, the focus shifted pretty dramatically.
Towards the person.
Towards the personality ethic. This is much more about the outside. Public image, attitude, social skills, techniques, how you appear, how you manage impressions.
So are you saying those personality skills are bad?
Not inherently bad, no. But here's the danger. Relying only on the personality ethic without that underlying character ethic, well, it's shaky ground. It tends to create what you might call secondary greatness. You get the promotion, the social applause, the superficial agreement.
Okay, the outward signs of success.
Right. But it often just papers over the cracks. The real problems underneath don't get solved. And worse, if your character is flawed, maybe you're insincere, manipulative, trying to use those fancy human relations techniques.
People see right through it.
Instantly. It backfires. If there's no trust, the technique itself feels like manipulation. It actually deepens the distrust.
Ah, okay. Like trying to use a sophisticated tool when you haven't learned the basics.
Precisely. It's like cramming for an exam. You might pass the test, get that secondary win, but did you actually learn anything? Do you have real mastery for the long haul? Probably not.
So that brings us to the root. If behavior and attitude are just the leaves, what's the root we need to focus on?
The root is the paradigm. Simple concept, really. It's just how we see the world. Our map. Our frame of reference, our interpretation of reality.
But we usually assume our map is the reality, don't we?
We do, and that's the trap. Often, our map is, well, it's flawed, sometimes deeply flawed.
Okay, this is where that map analogy comes in, which I found really powerful. Trying to find your way around Chicago.
Downtown Chicago. But the map you're using, a really detailed, beautifully printed map, is of Detroit.
Right. So what happens? You can try harder, right? Run faster.
You can work harder, absolutely. You can focus on having a really positive mental attitude about finding your way.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't help, you're just getting to the wrong place faster. Or maybe you're just, happier about being totally lost. The effort, the attitude, they're wasted because the map itself is fundamentally wrong.
That just instantly clarifies why focusing only on behavior or attitude change often fails. We're trying to change how we travel without checking if we even have the right destination or starting point.
You've got it. And that's why the only viable approach is what we call inside out.
Meaning?
Meaning change has to start from the inside, the very core of you. Your paradigms first, then your character, your motives.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say you want your teenager to be more cooperative, more responsible. The personality ethic might say, try these communication techniques.
Okay.
The inside-out approach asks you to change first. Be a more understanding parent. Be more consistent. Be more loving and patient. Change your own paradigm about the situation first.
You have to be the change before you can see the change.
Essentially, yes. You work on yourself, on your map, before you try to change the external territory.
So if we manage to shift our paradigm, get a better map, how do we know it's actually leading to real sustainable effectiveness? Is there like a litmus test?
There is a really core principle. It's captured perfectly in the idea of the PPC balance. Remember the old fable? The goose and the golden egg?
Vaguely, yeah. The goose laid golden eggs.
Right. So P stands for production. That's the result you want. The golden eggs. Could be profit, could be a clean room, could be good grades, good health.
Got it. P is the output.
And PC stands for production capability. That's the asset that produces the golden eggs. That's the goose itself.
Okay, P and PC, production and production capability.
The principle of effectiveness is about balancing those two. You need the eggs, P, but you absolutely must take care of the goose, PC. If you focus only on maximizing P, grabbing all the eggs now,
You neglect the goose.
and eventually, no more goose, no more golden eggs, you destroy the asset that produces the results.
Give me a concrete example of that imbalance.
Okay, think physical asset,
Yeah.
like a lawnmower. High P is cutting acres of grass constantly. But if you never do maintenance, never sharpen the blade, change the oil, clean it, that's PC, what happens?
It breaks down, useless.
Exactly. Or think human asset. A marriage, demanding constant support, affection, attention, high P, without investing in kindness, listening, understanding, shared experiences, PC.
The relationship itself breaks down. The goose dies.
Precisely. You kill the capability to produce the very thing you want. So investing in PC, maintaining the asset, whether it's physical, financial, or human, isn't some soft, optional thing.
It's fundamental for getting any long-term results.
Absolutely essential. And understanding this PPC balance, this need to maintain the asset, sets us up perfectly for the first phase of real change, the private victory. Starting with habit 1.
Which is, be proactive.
Yes. And the foundation of being proactive is recognizing something uniquely human. Self-awareness.
Our ability to think about our own thinking.
Exactly. Unlike an animal running on instinct, we can step back, observe ourselves, examine our thoughts, our feelings, our paradigms. We realize we are not just our moods or impulses.
We are the ones choosing how to react to those moods and impulses.
We are the programmer, not just the program. And that awareness is the key. It's the space where we can choose our response, make and break habits.
Okay, so if we can choose our response, how does that translate into daily action? This is where those circles come in, right?
Right. The circle of concern and the circle of influence. Think about where you focus your time and energy.
The circle of concern is everything we care about.
Pretty much. Health, kids, work problems, the national debt, nuclear war, the weather. It's huge. And it's often filled with the haves. If only I had a better job. If only I had more supportive parents. If only this pandemic would end.
Reactive language, blaming external factors.
Exactly. Reactive people focus there, feeling victimized by things outside their control. But proactive people, they focus their energy predominantly on their circle of influence.
Wished contains.
The things they can actually do something about. This circle is focused on the B's. I can be more patient, I can be more diligent, I can be more creative, I can be a better listener.
Things within your control, your own responses, your choices, your character development.
Precisely. And here's the magic. When you work on the things inside your circle of influence,
It starts to expand.
it expands. By focusing on what you can control, you become more effective, build trust, gain skills, and your actual influence grows. You stop giving power away to the things you can't control.
This really reframes relationship problems too. You mentioned that story about the couple where the feeling of love was gone.
Ah, yes. The man says, I just don't love her anymore. The feeling isn't there. He saw love as a feeling, something that happens to you.
Like catching a cold.
Right. And the advice he got was a total paradigm shift. Love her, as in love is a verb, an action, a choice.
Not just a feeling.
The feeling, the therapist explained, is the fruit of the action of loving. The feeling follows the verb.
So if you value the relationship, you choose the actions, sacrifice, listening, appreciating, serving, even when the feeling isn't immediately there.
That's proactivity, subordinating feelings to values. You act based on principle, not just impulse or mood. You act your way into feeling. You don't wait for the feeling to dictate the act.
What about mistakes? We all make them. Seems like they're outside our influence once they've happened.
The mistake itself, yes, it's in the past. Circle of concern. Can't undo it.
Okay.
But our response to the mistake, that is smack dab in the middle of our circle of influence.
So what's the proactive response?
Acknowledge it immediately. Correct it if possible. And most importantly, learn from it right away. Don't dwell, don't blame, don't make excuses. Own it, fix it, learn from it.
That turns the failure into a success in a way, a learning opportunity.
It absolutely does. That's taking initiative even with setbacks.
Okay, so mastering ourselves, being proactive, habit 1, gives us the awareness and the choice. Where do we go next?
Next, we use that proactivity for mental creation. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind.
This is about the two creations, right? Mental first, then physical.
Exactly. Think about it. Everything is created twice. First, there's the mental creation, the idea, the plan, the blueprint. Then comes the physical creation, the actual building, the execution.
Like building a house. You need the blueprint first.
Absolutely. If that blueprint, the first creation, is flawed or incomplete, no amount of skilled hammering and sawing in the second creation will result in a good house.
And you're saying most failures happen in that first mental creation stage.
Very often, yes. Poor planning in business. Unclear goals in a project. Or, on a personal level, letting other people or circumstances dictate your life's blueprint by default.
Living reactively based on others' agendas or just drifting?
Drifting is a good word for it. The most powerful way to counteract that, to take control of your own first creation, is to develop a personal mission statement.
Like a constitution for your own life.
That's a perfect analogy. A personal constitution. It defines who you want to be, your core character values, and what you want to do, your contributions, your achievements.
So it's based on deep principles, not just fleeting goals.
Ideally, yes. Based on timeless principles that won't change with your mood or the latest trend, it becomes your personal standard, your internal compass for making decisions, especially the tough ones. It gives you that changeless core.
So habit 1 says you are the programmer, and habit 2 is about writing the program, defining the destination and values.
Beautifully put. Habit 2 is leadership, deciding what's truly important. And that leads directly to habit 3, which is management, the discipline to make it happen. Habit 3 is put first things first.
Okay, leadership first, then management. Makes sense. How does this connect to like practical time management?
This is where the famous time management matrix comes into play. It helps us categorize everything we do based on 2 factors, urgency and importance.
Urgent things demand immediate attention, right? They scream at you.
Yes, like a ringing phone, a deadline tomorrow, a crisis. Importance, on the other hand, relates to results. Important activities contribute directly to your mission, your values, your high priority goals, the things defined in habit 2.
Okay, so 4 quadrants emerge.
Right. Quadrant 3 is urgent and important crises, deadline-driven projects. We have to spend time here, but many people live here almost exclusively. Stressful.
Quadrant 3 is urgent but not important. Many phone calls, interruptions, some meetings, popular activities that feel pressing but don't contribute much.
The noise of life.
Yep.
Deceptive urgency. And quadrant 4 is not urgent and not important trivia. Time wasters, scrolling mindlessly. Pure escape, basically.
So where do effective people focus?
They minimize 3 and 4, deal with I, but they spend the bulk of their time and energy growing quadrant 2.
Which is important, but not urgent.
Exactly. This is the heart of effective personal management.
What kinds of activities live in quadrant 2?
Relationship building, long-range planning, writing your personal mission statement, exercise, preventative maintenance on your health, your car, your key relationships, preparation, learning, proactive work.
The stuff that makes a huge difference long-term, but doesn't usually scream for attention today.
Precisely. That's the challenge. Quadrant I and 3 act on you. They push you around. They demand reaction.
But quadrant 2?
Quadrant 2 requires you to act. It demands proactivity. Habit 1. Initiative. You have to consciously choose to invest time there, often pulling away from the urgent buzz of I and 3.
It seems like the key to quadrant 2 is saying no to other things, especially quadrant 3.
You've nailed it. The ability to say no to the unimportant, the urgent but not important distractions, comes from having a bigger yes burning inside.
A yes to what?
A yes to your purpose, your mission, your most important goals, the things you clarified in habit 2. When you know what truly matters, it's much easier to decline the things that don't.
So it all ties together. Habit 1 gives you the choice. Habit 2 gives you the direction and purpose. Habit 3 gives you the discipline to prioritize and execute based on that purpose, focusing on quadrant 2.
That's the sequence, the private victory. It's an internal win, mastering yourself before you try to master teamwork or external challenges. It has to happen in that order. You can't fake it.
It feels like, well, a significant undertaking. It's not a quick fix.
Definitely not. And it's important to remember that. This kind of growth, this inside-out approach, it follows natural laws like farming. You have to prepare the soil, plant, cultivate, read. You can't cram growth.
So patience is key.
Patience, yes. And integrity. And the willingness to subordinate what feels good now, what's easy now, like staying in quadrant I or escaping to IV for what you truly want eventually. It's about building character, day by day.
A marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. Be kind to yourself in the process, but stay committed to the principles.
Okay, as we wrap up, maybe leave our listeners with one final thought to chew on, something provocative.
All right. Think about security. Real, long-term security. Where does it actually come from?
Most people would say a job, money in the bank, assets.
Those are common answers.
Yeah.
But consider this. True security, true financial independence doesn't ultimately lie in your job or your bank account or any external thing that can change or disappear.
So where does it lie?
It lies within you, in your own intrinsic power to produce. Your built-in, God-given capacity to think, to learn, to create, and crucially, to adapt. That internal production capability, your ability to meet needs, solve problems, that is the only security that can never truly be taken away from you. That's the ultimate asset.